Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn basics of AI. Anyone can learn the AI. You have already heard that the ChatGPT, you can ask any queries and ChatGPT generates the response. Okay, or Claude, you can ask your queries to the Claude AI application and it responds. Say likewise, Google also, Google Gemini also. That means any AI application generates response with the help of LLM. LLM is the stand for large language model. Actually, if any user asks the AI application, say for example ChatGPT or Claude, the queries goes to the large language model, and large language model generates response according to your queries. In this way, a ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or any other AI application generates response. Who is the responsible to generate the response? LLM, large language model. There are several large language model available in the market. Say for example, ChatGPT, the large language model name is GPT-4o, GPT 4.1, and Claude, it is a AI application. It uses the LLM named Sonnet 4, Sonnet 4.1. That means any AI application under the hood, it uses the large language model. LLM is the responsible to generate the response of the user queries. If I ask questions to the Claude AI application, you can see the Claude uses the LLM named Claude Sonnet 4. This is the name of the large language model or version. Claude Sonnet, Claude Opus 4.1. This is the name of the large language model. Here, ChatGPT also uses the model, several model available, GPT-4o, GPT-4o mini, etc. That means LLM has the capability to generate a response. That's why LLM is that's why its name is Gen AI. It generates response. Any AI application. Who is the response to generate? Who is the responsible to generate your answer? That is the large language model. How LLM generates response? What is the background? LLM, large amount of data is trained by some algorithm. LLM, how it generates? A large amount of data is trained. As a result, LLM generates the response. Actually, LLM generates a response. Generates response. Okay, that's why its name Gen AI. It is called Gen AI. Why it is called Gen AI? Generates the response. How LLM generates response? A large amount of data is trained on the LLM. Okay, large amount of data is trained on the LLM. As a result, LLM generates large amount of data. One thing is you should remember that a cutoff date. Cutoff means, say for example, the data before 2024. If I ask questions up to 2024, the LLM can generate answer on the topic before 2024. If I ask question, say for example 2026, it cannot generate answer after cutoff training date. Okay, hope you got the point. Say for example, the large amount of data up to 2024, or say for example 2024 or 2025 is trained on the any LLM generates response on the basis of that data. Okay, the large amount of data is trained by some algorithm. As a result, LLM predicts, predicts next word. As a user, we think it is a answer of my queries. Okay, LLM predicts next word. Depending on the large amount of data and its cutoff date, there are several LLM in the market. If a LLM, say for example, Nano Banana, it is this model is used to generate image. It is best for image generation. Some LLM has the capability to generate text. Some LLM, say for example, some LLM is the capable of generate text. In this way, LLM has the capability to generate the response. If you go to the Hugging Face, this website, and you can see the models, large language model, there are several large language model available. Okay, text generation models, this is the name of the text generation model. Okay, you can see Qwen 3, OpenAI GPT OS 20 billion parameter. This is the name of the large language model. Gamma 3 point, this is the text generation model. If we want to model, this is image text to text or image to text, image to image, there are several model classification. Okay, the LLM is the responsible to generate the large language model. You can see here also, this is the AI application, this is the Claude, and it uses the LLM, that is Claude Sonnet 4 or Claude Opus 4.1. The LLM generates answer. If I ask what is Linux, it uses the LLM Sonnet 4 and generates response, and hit enter. By using LLM Sonnet 4, it generates this response. Okay, in this way the AI generates response. Next, I am going to the another topic, that is how the LLM process the query or question. How LLM process? If I ask question, that is what is Linux, how LLM process? Actually, it LLM process as a token. LLM process your queries as a token. Just you need to know what is token. Token you can think of the letter or word. Say for example, what is Linux? How many tokens? What is Linux? The token count of this token count of this tick token. You can go to the tick token, and if I go tick token this site, and here if you this tick token, or you can ask this here also. If I here you can ask this question, what is Linux? The token count is 3 and 13 words and 3 words. You can say the 1 word equal to 1.5 tokens, or I can say what is large language model. You can see how many tokens? It is a 7 tokens, but 5 words. The LLM process the data as a tokens, process as as a tokens. Why I am saying that I will say later. Okay, LLM process the data as tokens. Okay, so you can say if I ask the question what is Linux, how many tokens? It is a 3 tokens and 3 words. But if I ask question what is large language model, it has 5 words but token 7. LLM can process token at a certain amount of token. LLM process at once. At once LLM can process at once. How many tokens at once LLM can process? You can see the LLM has the tag. You can see the Qwen image. You can see, or this is the, or here GPT, say for example models, and if you go to the GPT model, and here you can see the GPT 120 billion, or you can see the Olama.com, and here you can see several models available. Say for example GPT OS. Here you can see the LLM can process the tokens at once 120k. Okay, 120k. This model process tokens at once 120k. Why I am saying the GPT, so if you go to this GPT OS, sorry, GPT OS can process the tokens at once once. Okay, that is 120k. Okay, several model has the capability several tokens. Why I am saying this? The token is very important to know, to learn the AI, because if we ask any queries, it LLM process the queries as tokens, and it has the limitation to process your query. If your query exceeds 120k tokens, LLM may generate false or wrong answer. It is called hallucinate. If we go, how it is internally count. Whenever you ask the ChatGPT any question, it internally counts the tokens. Okay. Okay. That's why you need to know the it is also called the context. LLM can process at once. It is called the context. It has the limitation of it is called the context window. It is called the context window. Okay. It is called context window. It is called context. Okay. It is called the context window. The different LLM has the different context window. Okay. That's why when you ask any questions to the AI application, keep in mind that it don't go beyond the context window. That's why always recommended to ask queries within the limit of the context window. If it goes beyond the context window, you should create a new chat. Okay, always prefer you should create a new chat if it goes beyond the context window. Okay, or if you ask the questions on ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, you should ask questions one topic at a time. If you change your topic, you should change the new chat. Say for example, I ask the questions ChatGPT, this is the related to Linux. If I ask question related to chemistry, it is not recommend. It is recommended to create a new chat and ask questions. It generates a better result. Okay, new topic, new chat. I can say if you new topic, if you ask questions, same topic, in new topic, new chat. It is recommended new chat. Okay, and it provides the better response. If I show the VS Code, if you go to the VS Code, and I have already created a video on VS Code with Qwen. Okay, new topic, new chat. Okay, hold. If you go to the another model, say for example, Qwen 3, it has the context window of 40K. This is the low context window, this model. But GPT OS has the 120K, 128K context window. That means GPT can process tokens 120K at once. Up to, okay. There are several context windows. Context window is very important to know. Okay, and context window is measured using tokens. And tokens, you can think of one word equal to 1.5 token. One word, you can roughly, the token calculation depends on the model. Okay, one word, you can roughly think 1.5 token. Roughly. Okay, it is not the hard and fast for any rule. Roughly, the token mechanism is different from according to the model. Okay, the LLM process the queries as token. Okay, if LLM can process the tokens at once, it is called context window. GPT OS LLM can process the tokens at once 128K, whereas the Qwen 3 model can process the tokens at once 40K only. Okay, if I ask questions Claude and it calculates the tokens, how much tokens you use. Again, I ask another question, and chat continuation goes on. It exhausted the tokens. If it goes beyond the context window, it hallucinates. That's why it is preferred to ask question within the limitation of the context window. It is very important to know. Okay, context window is very good. Context window is measured using tokenization token. Every model has the limit of or process token has the every model has the limitation. Okay, depending on the model, it has the context window limit. You can see this is the context window limit. But when 3.4b model has the highest model has the 256K context window. This model has the huge context window compared to when 3 latest model 40K. This. Okay, context window is very important. Okay, to large language model. Now I am going to another topic, that is what is RAG. RAG. RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. Why RAG? If I go RAG, when it is RAG, RAG means Retrieval Augmented Generation. If I ask questions, the AI application that is Claude, and Claude is not trained on that topic, then RAG is implemented. Earlier I said the LLM is trained a large amount of data, training data cutoff, training data cutoff is very important. If LLM, say for example, GPT OS, but GPT OS, say for example, LLM GPT OS's training data cutoff is, say for example, 2020, 2025 or 2024 cutoff date. Now beyond 2024 data is trained the GPT OS, training data cutoff. And if I ask question after the year 2024, that may be the questions 2025, the LLM cannot answer that questions. No response. It has no, it cannot, it don't generate any response beyond cutoff date. In this situation, RAG is implemented. How? RAG means how RAG is implemented? The LLM, that is the GPT OS, in some mechanism is connected to the my 2024 5 data. Say for example, this is the my database. This data is available in this here. If user asks questions, if user asks questions beyond 2024, after 2024, after the year 2024, it don't have the answer. It is not trained 2025 data after cutoff date. In this situation, the GPT OS, if I connect the another database or another document source, then GPT OS goes to this database and fetches the data and provides the user. That means retrieve data not on the training data, but from the data is connected to the data is connected to this model. It is connected with the help of MCP or any other mechanism you can connect. I will show you. That means RAG is very important when the data is not trained on that topic, and if we ask queries on that topic, how will we get the answer? In that situation, you should or you can implement the RAG to the AI application. Say for example, if I ask AI application that how many repositories available in my GitHub repo, how many repositories, but the AI application Claude don't have the data. It is my own personal data, and it is my own data, and it is locked with the password. How many repositories available with my password? In that situation, if we connect the LLM with my GitHub account, say for example, this is the GitHub account, with the help of MCP, this connection is MCP, then GPT can generate a response, okay, and it is generated with the help of this data using MCP connection. That means GPT retrieve data from the context this, that is called, it is called retrieval Augmented Generation. That means LLM or AI application retrieve the data from the context, from the context it is provided. Augmented means the context. You can say this is the context. The context is provided the LLM, and then it generates the response. That's why it is called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. This is the context. This is the augmentation. Okay, when your training data is not available in the GPT, and that data is provided with the help of MCP to the LLM. RAG is very important. One thing you should know, that is the chunking. In the RAG, one thing is very important to know, that is chunking. What is chunking? In RAG system, say for example, if I have the documents of my company of my own, say for I have the PDF files, my own write up or own tutorial or the company's policy, and it is written in document format and that is available in PDF or maybe docs. Say for example, PDF it has the 5 pages, or docs it has the 120 pages. Docs has the if we create a RAG application, the LLM can generate answer from this PDF or docs. But when user asks the LLM or AI application regarding these PDFs or these documents, LLM process the whole data and it generates response. But I have already said every LLM has the context window limitation. If PDF has the say for example 5 pages, and if the docs has the 120 pages, and if I ask questions LLM from this file or this file, it goes to this document source and 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 retrieve whole documents from that documents, process the whole documents, and it exhausts the context window. That's why first these files we chunking means we divides into smaller pieces. Chunking means divides into smaller pieces. Chunking means divides. This PDF is divided into smaller. This text, the extracted text from this PDF is divided into smaller pieces. What the benefit it provides? Whenever we ask questions LLM on a particular questions, it goes to this document source and retrieve that part only, not the whole PDF or the whole documents. As a result, it uses the context limit very minute or very systematically. Okay, for context window limitation, we should the documents into chunking, that is divides into smaller pieces. Okay, first chunking is very important in a RAG system. Then another concept is very important, that is embed. Embedding means these smaller pieces of text is converted into numerical representation. Embed means the numerical representation of the text. Numerical representation of text. Why numerical representation? Because, say for example, if I ask the questions LLM, what is Linux, and it has the trained data on the topic Ubuntu. The Linux and Ubuntu is a semantic relation. It has the semantic relation. To get the semantic relations, we first convert the text into vectorize or numerical representation with the help of embedding model. Okay. So for example, if I ask the this new chat, if I ask the numerical representation or vectorize the word Linux. If I ask the question, what is the Linux vectorization? Vectorizing Linux, it provides analyzing. That means it has the numerical representation. That means it may be this time the Linux 121.53, 1.86 in this way. Okay, vector representation. You can think this is the vectorization representation of, you can think this Linux is the vectorization. This is the big, this is the vectorization of the term Linux. In this way, the text are divided into smaller pieces. It is called chunking, and that text converted into numerical representation. It is called embed, and embed is done. Why embed is done? For semantic search. Semantic, similar term, similar concept is finding. Why embed is done? Because embed is done for the semantic relation of words. What do you mean by it? Semantic relation of it by words. For this purpose, embed is done. Semantic relation means, say for example, cat has the semantic relation of dog. Okay. Man has the semantic relation or semantic relation of boy or son. This type of, like this. It may not. To get the semantic relation, the text are embed. Okay. Embed, that embed means numerical representation, and it is look like that. It is also called numerical representation. It is also called the vectorize, vector form, vector. It is also called, this numerical representation is called the vector. This is the vector look like. This data is stored on the vector database. That means if I have the document base that is formatted, that may be the format of PDF or docs, it is first pieces divides into smaller pieces, that is called chunking, and that smaller pieces is embedded, that means numerical representation, and this numerical representation is also called vectors, and this data is stored on the vector database. Okay, when we ask questions on any AI applications, okay, the LLM search, semantic search to the vector database, and it retrieves the semantic term from the vector databases, and it generates the answer to the queries of the user. The vector databases of my documents, that is the PDFs or docs, this vector database. Okay, this is converted into the vector. Okay, and it search from the vector database. There are several processes. It may be the cosine similarity, cosine similarity, cosine similarity search. Okay, LLM searches from the vector databases using cosine similarity or any another similarity, and gets the response from the vector database. It generates the response to the user. In this way, the RAG process is implemented. Okay. Now I am talking to run the LLM. Run LLM. How to run LLM? It requires infrastructure. To run the LLM, it requires any infrastructure. It may be, it may be the GPU based computer or CPU infrastructure. It is better the GPU, graphics process unit. It has the parallel processing. It has the capability of parallel processing process. LLM needs to process data the GPU needs. Okay. To run the LLM, we need the GPU based compute or high CPU. Okay. I have a video how to run LLM locally. You can check out that video. Okay. The LLM, you can run the LLM locally, but smaller version. Say for example, this is the 1.4 GB size, Qwen 3.1. You can run in your local machine, in your laptop also. I have created a separate video how to run large language model in your laptop, so that if you ask that model and it generates the response, okay, you can check out that video. The infrastructure, it needs GPU based compute or parallel process. Okay, this is the basics of AI. You can just recap. AI means any AI applications. That means the ChatGPT is the AI application, or it may be the Claude, it is also the AI application, or Google Gemini. If we ask any queries to this AI applications, that means it under the hood, it uses the large language model. Okay, ChatGPT has the GPT-4o LLM model, several models. This is the example. And LLM means it has the large amount of data is trained to the LLM, and that training data that is done using several algorithms. Okay, as a result, LLM predicts next word. The training data may be the cutoff training data GPT is 2024 or 2025 that time, but it cannot provides response beyond the training data. Okay, that's why RAG is implemented. Okay, okay. The several LLM has the capability. Different LLM has the different capability. Say for example, Nano Banana has the image generation capability. You can go to the Hugging Face and see the LLM, different LLM. LLM process data as tokens. I have already showed the how to count a token. LLM process, the LLM can process at once, that is called context window. GPT-OS has the GPT-OS has the 120K context window. It can process the tokens at once 128K, whereas Qwen 3 can process this model 40K context. Context means context token. It is recommended if we ask ChatGPT or Claude one topic to the one chat session. If we change the topic, it is recommended change the change the new chat. New topic, you should start a new chat. You can think of one word equal to 1.5 token. In this way, it is counted. The token count depends on the model to model. Why RAG is implemented? If we generate answer beyond the training data and that data is provided to the LLM, that is called RAG, training data cutoff. You can connect your local databases or any application using MCP. I have already created a video. What is MCP? You can check out that video also. Okay, this is the augmented context. Okay, chunking divides your PDF files or documents into smaller pieces for the smartly use of the context window. Okay, and then small pieces chunking text are embedded, that is the converted into numerical representation of that text, and numerical representations of that text look like this. It is an example, and this is called the vector. Why vector is created? Semantic relation, to know the semantic relation of words. Semantic means cat related to the dog. This is the same type of words, or this is the semantic relation. Okay, from that vector data is stored on the vector database. Say for example ChromaDB, several vector databases is available. Say for example ChromaDB, ChromaDB, Pinecone, Supabase. There are several vector databases available and it is stored on that database. Okay, LLM search the data from the vector database using Cosine similarity or any other similarity. Okay, to run the LLM, it requires GPU based compute because it has the capability of parallel processing, or you can high-end CPU you can use. This is infrastructure is very. You can run the LLM locally. Okay, this is the basics of AI. Anyone can learn and anyone can use AI. Okay, if this video is helpful, please like it, share it and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section so that I can create a video on that topic. Thank you.